Good morning. Glad I got a chance to spend some time with you today. Hope it'll be an encouragement to you. We've been going through the book of James, one of the most practical books on putting our faith into action in our everyday life. And we looked at yesterday how that we're tempted. God doesn't tempt us, but we're tempted when we're drawn away of our own lust and we are enticed. But we see the next verse that talks about when lust hath been conceived, it brings forth sin. And when sin is finished, it brings forth death. And what James is telling us in the very next verse says, do not err. Another way is don't be deceived, don't be misled. And what he's saying is, don't be deceived, don't let sin deceive you, don't be misled, because sin has a price to it. And that price is death. When we follow and are enticed, tempted, and we yield to that temptation, it's sin. And sin is going to destroy. As one man said, that if we're not careful, we will allow and look at the beautiful side of sin. Somebody said, there's a beautiful side of sin. Well, on the front side, because it's so enticing, it looks so good. It's, that we think this is exactly what I want to do. But it's on the backside, after sin has been conceived, that we find the hooks and we find the death that comes. Sometimes it's the death of a relationship. Sometimes it's the death of one's health. Sometimes it's the death of one's financial aspect. But the greatest death is a spiritual death. Sin leads to destruction. We need to avoid sin. We need to be praying, God, give me the strength to overcome temptation. Help me to look for the way out, the way of escape. The Bible promises us that we will not be tempted above what we're able to handle, but that He will always provide a way of escape. And to me, the greatest illustration of this is Joseph. When Potiphar's wife tempted Joseph back in the book of Genesis. And what did Joseph do? His way of escape was to flee, to run. How many times the Bible says flee idolatry, flee fornication? There are times we need to run away. There are times we need to change the channel. There are times that we need to avoid certain people that we don't hang around on because they'll lead us into sin. Proverbs says, avoid it, don't pass by it, stay away from it. Because when you yield to temptation, it brings forth sin, and sin brings forth death. Don't be deceived. Don't be misled. Don't err. Let's live a holy life before the Lord. Let's look for that way of escape. Let's avoid it. Let's stay away from it. Let's live a holy life for the Lord. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.